Hey guys, how's it going? This is Jeff. So today I've decided to do a Q&A video where I answer some of the most commonly asked questions that I get on YouTube and also get just around the general population and people who are visiting the islands. And yeah, so let's go ahead and kick it off. I think the one that stands out probably most to me, just in general, not necessarily on YouTube, is how much does it cost to go to the beach? Is that beach free? And the thing that I would say is, wow, Hawaii, way to go. Way to make people think that they have to pay to go to the beach. Now, as frustrating it is for me to answer that question continuously, which is, in my opinion, I mean, I think a lot of people would think it's a dumb question. Me, I understand why people would ask it, and I probably would have asked it myself if I flash back to when I was first coming to Hawaii. You know, can I go to, like let's just say Lanai Kea or Big Beach? And yeah, the beaches are free. Now, parking is what you might have to pay for, or entrance into the park might not be free. Hanama Bay is one of those kind of places. Hapuna Beach, you have to pay to park, unless you have a Hawaii state ID. But most of the time, just going to the beach outside of the parking, so parking might not be free. I think that's maybe where people get kind of confused, so it's legit. And without me being a jerk and judgmental and saying, man, that's another annoying question. They're asking me if it's free to go to the beach. Okay, well, so no one can privately own a beach. Beach is shoreline access must be provided to all coastline in Hawaii, legal or by the property owner. So if a resort, let's just say a resort like Mauna Kea Beach Hotel owns the resort, but they must provide beach access or access to, to that beach. They can't tell you that you can't come to the beach. Same with Wailea Beach, out right in front of the Four Seasons or the Grand Wailea here in Maui. They have to let you go to the one in Ko'olina. So that's it. But those parking lots, they get overflow parking. Even Black Rock Beach, people are always saying, where can I park to get to Black Rock Beach? Well, it's at a resort, right? The resort doesn't have to over accommodate you, but they have to accommodate you and they can't tell you that you can't come in, especially if you're requesting beach access. Enough about beaches and free, all that. So try not to ask that question too much, because I just answered it. This is one that's asked on YouTube all the time. Jeff, can you talk about healthcare in Hawaii? Apparently a lot of people are really concerned about their health and if they're going to have access to healthcare. And one of the things that I think Hawaii stands out as is a holistic healing place. There's a lot of people who claim to be holistic healers and retreats and stuff like that, but conventional Western medicine, anywhere there's a Long's Drugs, there's going to be a pharmacy. Anywhere there's a Walmart, there's probably going to be a pharmacy in the Walmart. That's been my experience with that. So Long's Drugs are pretty much in every corner of the island where there's population centers. So healthcare, you're going to have practicing physicians, yeah, and you're also going to have holistic healers. As far as the holistic side of things go, be careful with that, because people operating without legal the legal right to be a doctor, and they call themselves a doctor because on their own accord, those kind of people, they do exist. And they might tell you, hey, just fast. If you fast, you'll cure your whatever you have. Yeah, there is some science behind fasting that the Western medicine might not talk about. Obviously, there's not a lot of money to be made in fasting, but it's kind of a middle ground. Definitely do your research if you have someone telling you to fast for 10 days and not eat anything and maybe drink just water, because I have heard about that, where people were told to fast and then the next thing you know, they're dead. So I'm not saying don't fast, but if a holistic healer is telling you to cure your disease by fasting, don't just be so quick to believe them because they say they're a doctor. Another question that comes up is there cheap land? Is there cheap land in Hawaii? Yeah, there is on the Big Island. There is cheap land, really cheap land. It's in it's cheap because it's in next to the volcano. It's like saying that living out in Death Valley, you can get cheap land near Death Valley, and the answer would be yeah, because it's a desert and it's a wasteland. Kind of the volcano is like a wasteland. It's not a wasteland. It's a beautiful wasteland. It's some of the most beautiful places, but it's a wasteland because it's constantly got lava flow threatening to take it out. Mountain View is one of those places that might not be under threat for getting taken out, but it's still got cheap land, and there's a reason for that, and it is close to the volcano. What does aloha really mean, and what does mahalo really mean? So a lot of people in my other videos have been so quick to say aloha means, haole, for example. Anytime you hear ha, so ha is breath. Ha, it's breath, okay? So when you hear like the breath of life or haole or aloha, life or breath is like life. Like if someone's no longer with us, what do they not have? Breath. You know someone's alive because they're breathing. So in the Hawaiian understanding of life, if you have breath, that's the breath of life. So anytime you hear haole, like haole is lack of breath. When they say you're a haole, ha'auli, okay, that means lacking breath, like lacking strong breath, like lacking life, lacking real strong character, so to speak, to whoever is on the other end of making that judgment call, saying that that person is lacking that breath of life. So, or without breath, you get that. And that's kind of what that means, without life, like kind of like, I guess you would say soulless, like maybe not as, alive, vibrant, not a high vibe, right? Not a high vibe. So what about aloha? Aloha is, it's life. It's got ha in there, and it's saying, it's a greeting. It's like, greetings, salutations, how are you? Good to see you. That's what aloha is. It's show aloha is show manners, show respect, show appreciation for that company. Show aloha to the land, show aloha to the people, show aloha in your daily activity, show aloha in everything you do. Just basically be mindful and respectful of things going on around you. It's kind of like a humility, but it's a greeting. You know what I mean? It's a humility in the sense that it's not just all about yourself, your ego. Mahalo, yet again, there's a ha in there, right? So it's like, it's also a gratitude. It's a gratitude. It's like, if someone holds the door open for you, you say mahalo. If you walk by someone, you can say aloha. Another thing that they say just in the islands, and you might have people that'll joke around about this, but one of the quickest habits or words that I ever picked up, aside from saying aloha, people who walk by me, just walking by and saying aloha, just like kind of being influenced by that word, just as kind of like, if you go to Mexico, you say hola or gracias, mucho gracias, you know what I mean? It's that's what aloha and mahalo is here. It's like one of those words that you kind of just get in the habit of saying. But one thing that also kind of came about, it's a pigeon, it's how's it, how's it, bruh? I don't really say bruh too much because it didn't come natural for me. Like people will be like, what's up, bruh? How's it, bruh? I know that the locals say that, they also say, that's cherry, bruh. Like cherry is, when they say it's cherry, that means like, or it's the kind, they're saying like, that's the, cherry is like cool, it's like, it's good to go. It's like creme de la creme, It's just a vernacular here that is associated with the local dialect, which is kind of like a pidgin. And so, Yes, saying how's it, right? And that's kind of off topic from what does aloha and mahalo mean, but it's gratitude and stuff like that. And then you have, is it easy to live off grid? A lot of people on Facebook ask this question about like dome housing, growing your own food, and farming your own food. And yeah, it is here because it rains. It is fairly lush. Although in like places like down on the flats near the coastline, it's going to be more arid. The more you go up the mountain, the more you're going to be into precipitation, which is going to be, you know, the breath of life, right? The rain. I mean, the rain literally, the more you go up the mountain, the more it's going to start, the higher the precipitation levels are. Like here in the flats, here in Kihei or in Kona, right down there, like it's doesn't rain very much. Maybe, shoot, man, maybe 50 times a year, if that. Like in Kona, I mean, when I left Kona last go around, I mean, it maybe rained like 2 times in 2017, all the way up until you know, April. And then like the last few days I was there, it rained like 3 days in a row. And sometimes you'd wake up in the morning, you could tell it rained. Here in Kihei, for example, here in Kihei, Maui, it hasn't rained. I haven't seen any rain here, like where I woke up in the morning and said, "Oh wow, it rained," and I've been here almost a month now. So I've seen rain. There was some rain when I went out to La Perouse Bay. There was a storm rolling off Haleakala right down into the coast. But over there is desert, so that indicated to me that that was just an anomaly situation. It wasn't like they were getting a lot of rain down there on the flats. So, you know, can you live off grid and grow your own food easy? It depends on what the precipitation is in the vegetation, how easy it is to grow vegetation. If it's up Maka, if it's up the mountain, it's better. So living off grid, the next thing to go along with that is actual potable water. You know, can you catch water? And that's, you know, if it's not raining, you're going to have what? You're not going to be living off the grid because the water tank's going to be coming up there from Public Works to fill up your tank. Also, how are you going to grow your papayas and your bananas and all that without, you know, water? If it's raining, you're getting it from nature. If it's not raining, you're getting it from your tank, which is water that you're pumping in. And if you're living off Public Works, you're not off the grid. So that leads me to my next point, solar. If you're in Kihei, yeah, you can use solar panels. But where's the water going to come from? I mean, are you talking about the power grid, or are you talking about completely off of public utility? You see, so like I said, up the mountain. The more you go up the mountain, the more that's going to be possible. Do you always eat fruit and vegetables? That's kind of a question that just is assumed, is that people are eating really healthy here, and people actually they kind of. I'm not sure what that word is, but when you are able to convince yourself something's true, it's like a it's this thought. People like, they come here and they're like, "Oh, I'm in the tropics. I saw banana trees like over there when I was coming in, so it must be fresh fruit." No, I don't. I've seen fresh fruit, but it's not like super in abundance over here. It's kind of spotty and in between, you know. So no, I would not go ahead and say that fruit and veggies is just growing wild out here, especially in Kihei. Yeah, in some places in Hamakua and in Puna, sure. In Hana, sure. And, you know, Oahu, I mean, Oahu's pretty built up, so, but they do have banana trees and mango trees and stuff like that on the North Shore and, you know, over on certain parts of the island. But Kauai, yeah, Kauai definitely has some. You know, Kauai's got some fruit over there towards Honolulu. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much the most common questions. Some of the other questions that are asked online that are just kind of silly, but I'll go ahead and answer them. Do people live in grass huts? No, they live in normal houses like everyone else in America. Do you ever, if you live in Hawaii, do you ever want to leave? Yeah, believe it or not, people do want to leave just as much as anyone. It's called island fever. It happens. If you're a local and you got all your family around, you know, you're not going to be as excited to leave. And there is a lot of people that haven't left the islands that have their whole family here because they don't have a reason. But if your family's over on the mainland or somewhere else, yeah, you're going to want to leave. And you might even end up deciding to want to move back to where you came from. Is shaved ice uh, you know, just a snow cone. I mean, people want to know about shaved ice. I've had shaved ice maybe once or twice. They do have stands. It's pretty popular, but I mean, if you're into a lot of sugar like that, sure, go ahead. Kids love shaved ice. Uh, do you play the ukulele and dance the hula? Okay. Well, are you musically inclined anyway? A lot of people do trade the guitar for a ukulele, and you know they have one in their bag. It's a smaller guitar. You can put it in your backpack. Whereas a guitar, you got to carry it around, right? You know, so that's kind of cool. Do people hula? Yeah, a lot, especially a lot of the, the native people, even some, uh, you know, people who are not necessarily Hawaiian or Islander, but they grew up here. It's kind of taught in schools, so people do hula. But would a newbie like me to the island, you know, a newbie, someone who hasn't been here since they were born, no, I've never hula. Would I be against it as a man? No, I think I've heard a lot. I know a lot of very masculine men who dance hula, and in Hawaiian, hula is actually you can do both. It would be hula is an expression, and there is a very masculine way to do hula. It's kind of like the haka in New Zealand. I think I said that right, but you've seen that strong dance that the Maori people do. They kind of have that with male hula, but it's definitely a lot more finesse. But it's in a masculine way. You get it? So women, yeah. I mean, I've seen all types of different nationalities dancing to hula in the hula crowd. I mean, do you have to look a certain way to do hula? It definitely looks more appropriate in the sense that that's how you identify it, is if it's a Hawaiian person doing it, right? But Hawaiian people, they are open arms to anyone doing hula. I noticed that a lot of people from the mainland or anywhere else from other places are really big into yoga. For me, it's too faddish, it's too trendy, but I hear great things about yoga. I've never actually really got into it just because that culture seems kind of, it's kind of like people who like NFL, and I've been an NFL fan, you know, it's a fanatical group of society of things in my opinion. But yeah, you know, people, they get into really like flexible things, like they'll post their pictures online, they'll be doing these things, and they'll stand on their head, and they'll be on the beach doing a yoga pose with like their legs, like, you know, and it's cool. But it's like a trend. I don't think that Hawaiian people do too much yoga, but people from other places have decided to make Hawaii their yoga sanctuary. Cool. Do what you gotta do, guys. But I mean, that's what I'm saying is like yoga. Yeah, yoga's popular here. The funny hand signal, the shaka. You know, people that be like that. That, you know, they go like that. Like they say, if someone lets you go in the line, like if you're at a four-way stop and someone says, yeah, go ahead, you know, they're kind enough to do that, throw them a shaka. You know what I mean? Like if someone lets you have the right of way, I'm using this as an example because this is maybe more of a place that you would be able to identify how to use it. If you just want to like say what's up, you know, sometimes people go like that, you know, they go like this. Over here, you go like this, you know, you can go like that, you know, whatever, okay? But that's a shaka. That's just like, it's like a hang loose. It's like a high, you know, it's whatever. It's not like a, you know, middle finger thing though. If someone's giving you that, that means they're like, you know, what's up, man? You're my bro, okay? Or you're my girl, you know? Why do they call them slippers instead of flip-flops? Oh, geez, the most annoying question ever. People just, that is one that's annoying. Call it what you want to call it, okay? To spend too much time learning how to call that, and then to say it's called slippers, that's cheesy for me. I don't spend too much time on that question, so I'm going to avoid that one. Does ohana really mean family? Yeah, obviously ohana is family yet again. Ha, right? Ha, ohana. Hawaii. Hawaii. Actually, the W is pronounced like a V. Hawaii. Okay. Do you need a passport to come to Hawaii? No. Do you need any other sort of ID? No. So you live in Honolulu, right? Not everyone lives in Honolulu. Obviously, there's other islands, the Big Island, Maui, Lanai, Molokai, Kauai. You know, come on. Easy. No one lives on Kealave or Niihau. You go to the beach like every day. Yeah, that is a question that gets brought up. They're like, oh, are you at the beach? Are you at the beach? No, not every day. Sometimes I'll go a week without even going to a beach. Maybe longer. So, it's good questions. I know it seems like I'm a little bit irritable, but I'm trying to rush through this. But yeah, these are kind of like irritating questions. I think if you ask because these people, I think that's one of the reasons why I asked to make this video, because it'll save you from asking maybe some of the dumber questions and maybe ask more of the pertinent questions. Because I think people want a conversation starter, but there's so much other stuff to talk about other than, is the beach free? Do you go to the beach every day? Do you do hula? Do you play the ukulele? You know, stuff like that. Do you surf? Okay. A lot of people from here, yeah, they grew up on surfing. That is a very common thing. It's just like if you played basketball when you were a kid in Detroit, it's the same amount of people that are playing b-ball or the same amount of people that are surfing, but maybe more here, maybe more per capita. Everyone pretty much learns to surf. If you're a kid, you've either owned some bodyboard or some surfboard or a stand-up paddleboard and done something on the water. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much all she wrote for this video. And subscribe to the channel if you like. Thanks.